Hello gamers! Welcome to episode 32 of Gamers Galaxy. Today, we have a ton of information to go over regarding the Immutable ecosystem. It's getting to be the norm each and every week, just tons and tons of information. But before we dive into that, Rubick, how are you doing today, my friend?
Very good, mate. Pumped for this one. Just coming into this pod recording after getting an amazing collab opportunity for our community. Join the Discord if you want to get in on it. We've got free mints, just giving away free mint passes to anyone that wanted it for Wagme Games, and now first playtests into one of the most anticipated games on Immutable. So I am pumped for today, sir. Very pumped.
Awesome. So I didn't call you a legend right away because I'm throwing you off now. Yes, you still are a legend to me. I know you don't want me to call you that, but I'm going to anyway. The legend Rubick. Boy, we just had a very, very interesting conversation in episode 31 with Tal, the solutions architect for Immutable. Thoughts on Tal?
Yeah, so if you haven't listened to that, I'd highly recommend you go and listen to it. It's so much information in there, and it's a little bit technical, some of it, but it's you can pick out what the base meaning is of. Do you agree, WT? Like you sort of like got what the advantages of those techs that they're building is?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And for those that go back and look, if you haven't checked it out yet, it is time-stamped to find what you want to listen to, because I know some of our podcasts can be a little bit long, but there's a ton of good information there. The one that really stuck out to me was the minting with the APIs. Can you break that down a little bit for us?
Yeah, it just removes the complexity of writing contracts or minting NFTs. So you don't need to write contracts. You just an API is a very simple tool that 95% of developers know how to make and build and to consume. And so you can make it so that they can batch mint them, so 200 NFTs at a time for the cost of one gas charge. So it's really efficiency, it's simplicity, it's anyone can mint an NFT, even you, no matter what skills you've got. You could read the docs and learn how to do it. So, and there's a thing called Stripe that change payments online. They pretty much dominate the world. Everyone that uses Stripe for payments, pretty much, because they've built these tools that are so simple, but it took them years to build them, and they just keep on iterating, keep on building better ones, keep on building new functionality, more flexibility, more options, and they just keep it simple for the developers to be able to use it. And that's what Immutable's. That's what I've taken away from that meeting, was that Immutable's building the Stripe of, and we already heard that before, but actually to hear the substance of one example of that, and anyone else that hasn't done this yet, and I think Altura has done some APIs. Miria is copied Immutable X's old chain, and I think there's one other. I don't know, man. But there's only a couple of chains that have used these APIs, and if you want to catch up to them, good luck. You're gonna have to hire more devs, better devs. People, and we'll get to that as well about Immutable's dev experience later on. There's evidence of that being really advanced as well now, compared to what it was. So yeah. Anyway, Tal was a legend. He's very knowledgeable, very humble, and he just reinforced the mission. Like they're all on the same mission, and that's why you and I support Immutable, because of this mission. Not because they're going to pump and dump and make coins for us, because they've got a mission of changing the world and giving players the rightful ownership of products that they pay for. And yeah, sure, there'll be little offshoots here and there of different things, but that core mission of changing the world is what they're trying to do, and I'm just so on board with it and the way they're doing it.
Absolutely. Thanks for breaking that down for us. It was an amazing interview with Tal. I learned some stuff. There was some parts of it that was a little bit above my head, but some very, very exciting things are there. We definitely got some major alpha, so I invite everyone to go check that out if you haven't. Again, it is time-stamped. Look for the ZK EVM and the minting part if you want to hear that specific section that Rubick was just talking about. It's pretty amazing stuff in my opinion. Up next, projects building on Immutable. First up, Tap Nation. Boy, this one really just... I didn't know what to make of this at first. It's another collab, another partnership with Immutable, which is absolutely awesome, and that's what they do, and that's great. But like, I'm looking more into Tap Nation. It's a tech startup specialized in helping game developers, specifically in the mobile game industry, and they've already been doing it with over 80 game studios around the world, and it looks like they've been doing majority in Web 2. They've got like over 1 billion downloads in all these games. So, you know, I was talking to you, Rubick, a little bit about this before we came on. They're basically, like you said, like a publisher, but that's what Immutable does. And then I'm thinking, well, okay, Immutable's got all these games. They've got to outsource some work to keep up with it, and I'm not mad about it. I was just like, kind of scratching my head. I was like, but they were a publisher, but it makes sense. They got to keep up with the work. Your thoughts on Tap Nation coming to Immutable?
Yeah, it's awesome. I want to give another point too. Everyone always asks, like, why are people still making TCGs? There's so many of them, and why are people still doing this? There's so much competition. These guys were nobodies in 2017, and now they've grossed 60 million They grow 60 million monthly active users. You know, they'll be making billions of dollars a year out of all their games, and so, you know, like everyone's having a shot at the title pretty much. But to answer your question, okay, there's 2 games coming from their 100+ games are going to be ported over to Immutable. So this will be like the feeler. Immutable is a publisher, but they don't publish. They've got 260 games, but they only publish 5 games and sort of semi-publish 3 others that I know of. That's probably 6-month-old data, so it might have changed now. But so what Immutable's goal is, remember, mission is to transform the industry. And if they go to publishers, huge publishers, and say, here's these simple APIs to plug into our blockchain to turn your games into Web3 games with the simple API calls, bang, done. You know, like it's onboarded, then all the activity that happens on ZK EVM, they start making profit from all the transaction costs, from the 2% protocol fee. If they get, if they all those 100 games eventually turn into blockchain games, and they've got 60 million monthly users, that's millions and millions of dollars of fees going to IMX holders as well as IMX. So that's the goal. You know, this is a huge win, massive win. Just a matter of if it's got to execute, and you know, see how they go on the passport. The gamers won't even know they're on the blockchain at first. I'd say they'll just all of a sudden they'll log into one of these games, and they'll get a Google login, and they'll log in, and then they'll slowly learn about Web3 and realize that it's not a scam. It's just a different way, a different paradigm of ownership and new rights for players.
Okay.
But the two games, a Giant Rush is the first one. It's a casual fighting game with monsters in an arena. It's a Monster Duels. And the other one's a parking jam puzzle game. So you've got increasingly difficult puzzles you move your cars around a crowded parking lot. So I'd be interested to see what they are. I think the picture has got some of the monsters in the picture that of the announcement that they're joining Immutable ZKVM.
Yeah, boy, I was looking at that kind of wrong for sure. I'm glad you clarified that. It's more about the partnership's more about bringing games into Immutable versus them doing work for Immutable. So yeah, thanks for clarifying that. That is huge. That is absolutely huge. This next one, I actually got to play this one, and I enjoyed it somewhat. It's Blast Royale, mobile game, super easy to sign up, get into, play right away. It reminded me a lot of Fortnite with the zones closing in on you over time. You're running around with your for me, that's how it worked. With my left finger, I'm moving around, and when I would get close to something that I wanted to shoot at, I would incorporate my right finger and pew pew pew. I would attack, and it was PvP. Very fun, quick, easy game to get into. You jump on these little circles that have weapons. You can change different weapons from rocket launchers, AK-47s, regular pistol. sometimes you run out of ammo, so you got to get ammo. You can pick up health packs. You can pick up shields. Very fun to play. They got a leaderboard. Looks like they've got a token, the blast token. I don't know specifically if this is going to be a great play and earn game, but it's definitely got some form of monetization from NFT sales, in-app purchases, and their blast token. However, that's going to work. I enjoyed it for what it was. Did you get a chance to check this one out at all, Rubick?
I didn't actually, mate. So we're going to have to just rely on you. There's so much to do. So thanks for covering my backside this time, mate.
Yeah. I liked how I think the biggest thing out of it is I liked how easy it was to sign up for it and get going really quickly on it. Just really enjoyed that easy experience for once, because it seems like every time in this space it's always a difficulty to get into something. This next one up, you just recently talked about, TCGs in the space. We've actually talked about this one before. Storm Warfare. It's a World War II kind of themed game between all the countries. TCG, like I said, the graphics have been absolutely amazing from what we've seen. Wandering Gale has done an amazing write-up on it. If you want a quick summary of it, I definitely would check that out from him. I got
on the Discord to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's in our Discord. It's on his X account. I love how you guys do these write-ups and these threads. You, Wandering Gale, DeSeuss, even Tonin. Tonin's got some bangers too. I love when you guys do this. But Storm Warfare, we talked about it briefly on our spaces last week. You got any new thoughts or some other thoughts you want to say about Storm Warfare, Rubick?
We're having a spaces for them very soon.
I don't know when.
Yeah, so keep it. I think it's locked in. Oh, we're waiting on them to respond to us. But yeah, I played it. The animations, more than the graphics, the animations, and it's good graphics, solid graphics for a TCG. It's not like it's a Unreal Engine 5, well, with amazing graphics, But it's the animations of when you play the cards and that are just simply beautiful. And yeah, it's like Gods Unchained. And it's going to be the first game on ZK EVM launching very, very soon, I believe. So interesting. That one I'll give it a go. I played it once. I'm not playing it at the moment, but you can play it now. So it's just they're doing you can earn money as well. So if anyone wants to play it, get on and try it out. See if you want to. It'll be free to play. So gas free and free to play. So you get, I think it's 150 cards to start off with, something like that. I don't know. And then you go and play. And then if you like it, you can start and putting money in.
Nice. Yeah, man, I'm not a real big TCG player, but I really want to get into it, especially with Gods Unchained stuff coming up, which we'll talk about later. So I really want to dip my toe into that experience as I'm getting more and more into the games actually now. So next up, this one, I'm like, I don't know what to think about this one. PanoVerse. There's that word again, verse. We talk about this often. For those of you in audio, you can't see it, but on video, you're looking at what I'm looking at right now, and I'm like, what the heck is this? Just the, yeah, interesting art, for sure, to say the least. I think there was only like 1,800, is it 1,800? Yeah, 1,800 followers. Yeah. I had never heard about this game, honestly, until this week, looking through the notes of what's coming to the Immutable. It's bridging the world of gaming and art in the PanoVerse. Do you know anything about these guys? I have a few thoughts, but I'll let you step up to the plate first.
I really like the graphics. Like you've seen the videos of the game. It's they're collabing with Becker, that guy, Alex Becker, what his name is. He's SS Becker. He's Web3 games and putting influencers inside their game is the new meta, isn't it? They all are doing it. It's right. Weird. But yeah, like the graphics, it's like that Lyra Unreal Engine 5, but the latest ones I've seen, it looks photorealistic. The graphics look way better than Lyra. The movement of the models and the characters feel like the same Unreal Engine 5 that we always talk about. But the actual graphics of in-game, the scenery is up there with the best I've ever seen in a game ever. Like it is any game. It is really cool graphics. So it'd be interesting to see where these guys are, who the team is, and digging a bit more. But they weren't announced by Immutable. They announced themselves, and then Sorrow responded with a welcome. So yeah, they have got token sales and all that happening around now as well. So
oh yeah,
you know, there was another one. It was what was it? Announced Immutable, and then they had like something else recently. I'll think about it throughout the show and come back to you what it is. But like, it just seems to be uncanny. And then the announcement of Immutable and something like where they make money. So
right. Yeah, so I've got it up on the screen here. It's obviously I think this is considered third-person shooter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right off the bat, like one of the things. I don't know a ton about the game, but they talk a lot about tokenomics and play and earn. That was like, it seemed like that's what their focus was. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure they're focused on the game. But also in their game, like they got a character in there running around. I thought it was Wolverine. Every time I see it, my first thought is, that looks like Wolverine because of the color scheme. But it's obviously not Wolverine. But that's what I think of every time I look at it for some reason.
That's Alex Becker.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and the other character's like a hammerhead shark or something.
Yeah, I don't even know who Alex Beckers is. You'll have to forgive me on my lack of knowledge.
He's ZSS Becker at ZSS Becker. He's a really famous guy. He's got 947,000 followers. So he's he tweets about Immutable all the time, and he's a part of the Neo Tokyo Code. You know that group. Pretty big influence. I used to listen to him before he was in crypto about wealth management and stuff. So I knew him well before I was in crypto, but now all of a sudden he's gone to crypto. So, you know, wherever the crypto's better, I guess.
Gotcha.
But yeah, look, it's actually they announced Immutable. We put an Immutable like symbol in their game, and then replied with a token. A way to get the token to themselves. Hey, we're coming to Immutable, and in the same thread, tweeted on how to get the token.
Yeah,
so it's like,
yeah. I went to their Medium. I went to several things on them, and it was all about playing and earning and their token. And I was just like, oh, okay, yeah. That's always. I mean, I understand it. It's fine, but I don't know. That one is always throws a red flag for me when I see that kind of stuff. You know, we're focused more on the games here, so. But yeah, that's PanoVerse. Well,
we'll see if it's any good. The graphics are really good, mate. I don't know if it's cinematics or the graphics look amazing. Not that clip you were showing. I think there's an image down lower where there was just like, or it's actual movement in there as well. There's a couple of screenshots. Then there's another one where there's a video where they're moving around a bit and the graphics look amazing.
Yeah, I panned down a little bit here. I'm looking at some of it. Yeah, we'll have to see how that is. But yeah, next up we've got what was it? Chibby Clash. Chibby Clash. I kind of like the flow of that. Chibby Clash. You know, I like that. I like saying it for some reason. But I don't understand. I'm putting this graphic up here now. I went to their main screen. It's loading. Boy, it's taking a while to load here. Okay, there it goes. And I've got this giant map of land going on. And I'm like, okay, what do I do this? They've got the Immutable sight on in the upper right corner there. So obviously they've got some ties into Passport, it looks like. And yeah, I don't know what it reminded me kind of a very, very more polished, advanced version of what like Looper Lands is kind of like, if you guys have seen us talk about that game. Any thoughts on Chibby Clash here, Rubick?
Yeah, I think there's multiple games in the game. I played one game because I was at work when that announcement came out. They announced themselves, and I thought, you know, here's another announcement. Went into them. Where's the token sale? Like, you know, and there wasn't. And I logged in, and it logged me in with Passport, and I was very surprised. So you might have saw my tweet where I said, hey, this is using Passport. I think the Passport's only for authentication because you still connect the wallet, a normal wallet. So they haven't built on ZK yet. But they're going to. But if they've put the Passport in already, you'd assume that they're going to build an Immutable. You know, like that's showing more than just announcements. You know, that's more than pure announcements.
Yeah.
But I played the game. It's like a little ARPG again, where you're constantly moving on a top-down sort of map, and it's a bit better than pixelated, so I like it more. Like the map's pixelated, but the actual game is it's a bit still a 2D, but maybe looks like a Borderlands style graphics, a bit less than Borderlands, you know, like Borderlands 1. And you just run around and you collect things, you shoot things, or slash things, and you level up and get more skills. And you go try, bosses come, you go try and kill them and time your shots and stuff. It's a pretty cool little fun game. I actually really enjoyed it. It's actually quite catchy, and I would have played it again, but I actually had work to do that day.
Yeah.
So
I was trying to show some of the video here off of X, and then we gotta dial up our boy Elon and talk to him, because like I'm hitting mute on it, but then when I go to play it, it's taking the mute off. Yeah, that sucks. I was trying to expand and play it, but it goes into full audio. So for those of you that heard that, apologies. Yeah, Elon, we gotta fix that. If I hit mute, I want it to be mute, man. So yeah, Chibby Clash. I like your explanation, a top-down ARPG. I think that pretty much sums it up. This next one here, boy, I've got some thoughts about this one. I'll start off first. SheerTopia. Somehow, some way, they've got 30,000 followers. If you can't tell, I got a little negative vibe on this. They got the very cool looking cinematic. My first thoughts was like, oh, this is interesting. You know, they got these animals jumping around, third-person shooter, it looks like. Quoting immersive AI gaming. Mobile. All right, cool. Went to the mobile, download it, easy to download. Boy, their UX needs some help drastically. It took me forever to figure out how to run around. And then I didn't know what to do. I spent probably a good 20 minutes trying to really get into this game, and I couldn't figure out what to do. I got frustrated. So I'm trying to learn about this game because I want to talk intelligently about it. And if I'm getting frustrated and can't do it, the general user that doesn't care about this stuff as much is going to tune out in like 3 to 5 minutes, in my opinion. So they definitely need some UX help and to make this easier. This one kind of blew me away. And then the other part I don't like too, I'm getting tired of it. I'm seeing it a lot in Web 2 and Web 3. They make these awesome cinematics, and then it's nothing like their gameplay at all whatsoever. So I'm just getting tired of that. Rubick, what's your thoughts on SheerTopia?
Pretty much exactly what you said, but you gave it 15 more minutes than I was prepared to. So, but I did download it because it was the cinematic drew me in. But then I found, did you see those green dots and that in the number? I don't know if it was on your screen. It was hidden. It was, the UX was bad, so you couldn't see it. But there was a number, and I got it. You had to get it down to 0, and there's green dots on the screen to show you which was the right way you were going. Did you see that?
No, that's the problem. Like, there was some I had to collect, and I found one by random luck chance, and then I had to go get 2 others, and I was like, I don't know where this is at, and like, yeah, I got really frustrated with it for sure. Oh, was this the one?
What about the name of the game though? That's worse than it's worse than verse and meta in being in the name, mate.
Why? I actually laughed at it because there was a ram, so I figured they're shearing it with its fur, right? Or am I missing am I missing the pun?
Oh, I didn't realize the pun. Maybe I'm dumb. But Project Lambo, I was thinking of Lamborghini.
Oh yes, yeah, I seen that. Yeah, that made me laugh. That's I can. Yeah. That one made me laugh. It's
yeah.
I don't
it made
see
me laugh because no one else has done something like that I've seen. But it's
it was a double play though. It was a double play because they got animals in here. So you got the Lambo like the car, and then maybe a lamb like an animal. Maybe that's kind of
okay. It's a pun. I didn't even pick that up. So it's now just passable, but still, Project Lambo is like, it's just so Web 3, man. Like, you can't take it seriously. Like, you know what I mean?
Here's the other part. Anyway. I think was it this one here? Oh, here was the other beef I had with this one. I'm really piling on this SheerTopia. So I went to go look at their white paper, and they wanted my email so that they could send me the white paper. I don't like that. I don't like that at all, because then, you know what it's like clicking links. I mean, I don't know who you guys are, SheerTopia. I just met you, and now I got to click a link to look at your white paper. You know, I didn't like that. It should be on their main page. Boom, you look at it. No risk. I don't know. It just bugged me with that.
You know what's funny? This game's got 30k followers on their X, and PanoVerse with those amazing graphics have only got 1800.
Right.
It's like this Web3 world is crazy.
Yeah.
They're just. They're also. The only reason I found out about these guys is they're not announced on Immutable. I didn't see any announcement anywhere. I joined their Discord. I didn't see them announce it anywhere. But on there, and they've changed the picture now. But the picture of their SheerTopia X used to have 4 partners written on there: Polygon, Immutable, Scale, and one other, Supernormal. I don't even know what Supernormal is. And so they're partners with Scale and Immutable. So. Interesting. I'm seeing that a couple of games have got work built on Scale as well as Immutable.
I seen that. Yeah, I was wondering about that too.
Their lies are finally paying off. You know, all their fake numbers that they pump all the time. So
I see one of their. Go ahead.
Go.
No, I've seen their partners. You're talking about their partners. Euphorica's on there as a partner. That's interesting.
Euphorica's a partner of who?
SheerTopia here.
Where are you seeing that?
If you scroll down on their main page, that looks awesome compared to their game. Euphorica, they got Immutable, Polygon, Coinbound, Scale. I don't know what Coinbound is, but underneath they got Euphorica on there.
Yeah, and I want to make that clear that I was saying that Scale's lies, not SheerTopia. If anyone misunderstood.
Oh, yeah, I totally whiffed on that. My bad. I thought you were still talking about SheerTopia.
Yeah, no, sorry. I wasn't sure if you were sure. I just want to make sure that the audience knew that I was referring to Scale. They like to pump their numbers with fake daily active wallets and fake figures around how much gas people save. They've got a pretty decent tech stack. I'd like to learn a little bit more and see if it's actually legit. But it's a very unique way to protect against DDoS attacks. And it's like gas is paid in like upfront as a subscription fee. There's a couple of ways to get gas free on this chain. So interesting to see how if you remember, Scale was my prediction for 2024 being the biggest surprise packet in out of all the gaming chains. So we'll see.
No, I did not.
They're starting to land some big games like X Society. Anyway, we're going off on a tangent here. I'll let you bring it back, mate.
Yeah. Okay. No, you lost me there for a second. My apologies. I should have. When you started talking about Scale, I was looking at the same exact time I was looking at SheerTopia, and they had Scale in their partners. So I thought that's where you were going with it. But my bad. My apologies. So yeah, that was SheerTopia. We really beat that one down. Next up, what pissing me off of the week. I'll start off first. I'm getting really angry with community contests in Web3. It's just getting ridiculous now. It was ridiculous back in 2023 of all the different ways to get involved with communities for whitelisting or to be involved with the NFT sales. Or just whatever with getting into the community. I'm getting really tired of it, man. I'm tired of fighting bots. I'm tired of fighting OG clicks that control whitelists. I'm tired of fighting the farmers. It's just there's got to be an easier way to solve this. The verification, if you're real or not. The verification of, are you a loyal fan? I think we need a badge. And I know this thing is we don't need no stinking badges, but I want a badge, man. A badge system to where, oh yeah, you've been playing in all these games for 3+ years. You're definitely a real person, and something to get out of this funk of fighting bots, fighting OG clicks, and that's what pisses me off this week. How about you, Rubick?
Yeah, I'm not too worried about what you said because I just play games and I don't even chase these tokens or things like this anymore, mate. So come and join the life of freedom, mate, and you won't have to worry about all that. But moving on to my point, something different this week. I was SparkBall, the game I really enjoyed, like the most out of any game, probably Galaxie at War and this game, based on what mood I was in. If I got people to play with, I'd like to play SparkBall on my own Galaxie Commander, sorry, not Galaxie at War. And they've just announced that they've rebranded to Opti Games. And in that video, he's talking about struggling to get funding. Now, I know it could be there's lots of nuance to why you wouldn't get funding. But like I also approached Immutable and said, this game's so fun. Like, they don't need that much more money to get it done. Like, get it out. Like, it's such a good game, and it's falling on deaf ears everywhere. They said they're getting close to funding, but if they don't get funding, that pisses me off because it's like literally the funnest Web3 game, team-based game I've played. Like, and it's probably even up there with the best game I've played for a long time. Dota's better, obviously. But it's a similar game to Dota. But it's like up there with Dota and fun. It was different style to Dota. It's Rocket League and Dota or more League of Legends. But it was, that would piss me off if they don't get funding. Considering all the shit games that do get funding.
Yeah, absolutely. I get the sentiment. I get the sentiment for sure. Yeah. So this next one up. I'm not really mad at this one, so we're pivoting off of what ticks us off. Kaidro goes to Ronin. I'm not surprised, not because it was Kaidro. I just knew eventually someone from Immutable was going to go to Ronin, or go to Avalanche, or Solana, or Scale, or whomever. It's just one of my picks for 2024 of what I'm going to be most disappointed about from Immutable is they're going to lose some games, possibly lesser known games, to competition just because they can't handle everything. They can't service all the Web3 games, and they're going to lose some just from that factor alone. And I think Kaidro might have been one of them. Not that it's a lesser game, but even the bigger games, they can't service all the bigger games, and they're going to lose some just from that aspect alone. Thoughts on that, Ronin? Thoughts on that, Rubick? I almost called you Ronin, brother. I'm sorry.
I think it's the first one to go. There's lots of games left Immutable, and this isn't the first one ever to leave Immutable. So it's not ZK AVM games though. This is the first ZK AVM game that was announced for ZK AVM to leave. So we talked about it last week about if I was in an Immutable game looking to go somewhere else, I would go not to Altura, to Ronin. But Ronin's they're quite picky, obviously. That's why they've only got 14 games. I think this is the 14th. It's a big game. Like it's not a big game. A lot of people actually commented it was crap, even in the Ronin community. So I was surprised to see some of those comments. I didn't see many comments, but the couple I did see were negative. So it started. I'm also on Machine Arena's Discord, and you can tell how pumped the game is by, the Discord. And the so-called the Ronin effect isn't really happening on there. They're doing announcements with just six emojis for, like new PvP season 3 starts now. Ronin Mint coming up, and there's six fire emojis. So within the first day, and it's like normally in the Ronin, so-called Ronin community is supposed to pump up your game, and it's just because they're starting to get a bit of a feel for what we have. But there's 200 games to cover, and we just can't cover it all, and we cannot put all our energy into everything. Like as they start to get more and more, they're gonna have to pick and choose which games they support, and that's going to dilute their support across the stack. And I think Kaidro might be the last game to benefit from the Ronin effect, unless it's a really big game that goes there, because they're starting to get a lot of games there now, a lot more games there now that spreading that so-called massive army of gamers thin. And good luck to Kaidro. I hope they do well, but I think they're going to look back at this decision and go, the money that they offered us to take was a big mistake when they see the effect, what happens with the Immutable this year. With the, when they got Ronin, there's not gas-free gaming on Ronin. You have to pay. There's a massive, even though it's only fractions of a cent, that's a blocker. That means that the normies aren't coming. And when they see games start to hit 2, 5, 3, like Blade of God, GOG, and they hit millions of gamers because they're frictionless onboarding and gaming, and you can interact with the blockchain without paying gas fees, that's when they're going to go, oops, we might have made a mistake here.
Yeah, absolutely. Best of luck to Kaidro. Hope they make it. Hope they bring in 10 million people. All rising tides raise all ships. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, you said Ronin's picky. Sure, could be, and that could be because they can't handle a whole lot. We don't know that for sure, but we understand how much it is to take on a bunch of games, which Immutable is doing. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to keep my eye on this one. I want to see where this one goes and how it plays out.
Yeah. Go ahead. So they used to like make you pay to be on their chain, so because they had the numbers,
right.
And they didn't have much success with that. So they've pivoted to being picky. You can't have a token out. You can't like they don't just let you be multi-chain. There's just all these rules you got to follow. So they can't just go and get any game. Pixels might have been like it didn't have a token out. That was on another chain. So that might have been the start of them changing that rule because they had that rule before then. I knew that rule. But there's a lot of competition now, and their only advantage is that Axie Infinity Gaming numbers, that little community they built of 30 to 40,000 people, which is a pretty big gaming crypto like dedicated fan base, and they've got an advantage there, and that's the only one they have. What happens when that's not the only advantage they have? When there's other chains that have that as well, which will happen. So, I wish I don't think Kaidro is going to get 10 million gamers, mate. They're not going to get in the people to download a Ronin wallet and load it up with RON so they can do transactions to collect their items. So we'll see. And maybe Ronin's got some kind of gas-free system in the works, like sponsorship model, like lots of these other chains are doing now. So maybe that's why they went, and we'll see. We'll see how I'm going to follow it as well.
Awesome.
I'm not going to play it though.
Back to
I was going to play it, but I'm not going to play it though.
Cool. Very cool. Back to our Immutable news here. The Marketplace Sphere goes live with its first collections. Yeah, I've definitely got some thoughts on this. We talk about this later on with the Marketplace Sphere. This is the one that has the mint that you were talking about recently, right? Or
yeah.
am I thinking about the wrong one?
No, that's the one. It's the Sphere is Merit Circle, yeah. So it's
right.
Beam and Merit Circle, and they've finally gone launch live as ZKVM. You can see all the test collections on their Sphere as well. But there's 2 collections that are real ones. There's the Hunters Unchained little test 50 or 60. I think it's 150 hunters to buy. They're just doing something. They're testing it. It's $10 an NFT. I don't think they're going to be too special, but because they're so small in number, unique, and that lots of people bought them, they're now. I think it was 3.4 IMX to buy one for the cheapest ones, and the one just sold for 23 IMX. So
oh wow!
They're up to from a $10 to a $11 to a $70 floor, and then there's like heaps listed for 150, 160, 170, so like $600.
Right.
So yeah, it was for me it was pretty smooth, but for you it wasn't. Is that correct?
Yeah, pain in the butt. US is just we're the land of the free, and we can't spend our money how we want to. It's been going on for 10, 11 years for me, and I think we're talking about that later. But yeah, I spent over an hour trying to buy these things several different ways, VPNs, the whole shebang, and was not able to, unfortunately. So next up here, we've got boy, I messed that one up. TopExpo. It's a multi-chain marketplace for NFTs based on. This is what threw me off here. Well, you had on here marketplace that caters to Dark Country, IMX, and Flow cards, but when I went to their site and looked around, it said something about being for Flow and Wax blockchains. Do you know more about this one?
Yeah, it's just another marketplace that you can buy immutable NFTs on. It's if you go to the new listings page, topexpo.io, just the flat page itself, you can see there's a flow button and there's an immutable button, and if you click them, the flow button shows the flow cards, and the immutable button the cards change to the ones that are immutable.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's another and it looks like it's just for Dark Country. I think it's their own. Is it their own? I don't know.
Dude,
I never heard of it. Just another chain, another marketplace. This is the power of the API. So
okay, I see now.
You know what I mean? So someone lists an immutable Dark Country card on the official immutable page, they will show up on this marketplace to buy, to be able to be bought. So, or if they list them here for sale, if you can list them here for sale, which I haven't looked into enough yet to really care, to be honest with you, you could buy them on other marketplaces that list this collection, which is the immutable marketplace because it does all collections. But it's a StarkX version. So the Dark Country game did actually launch their NFTs on Immutable. They announced it. I don't see their socials anymore for some reason. Maybe they blocked me. That's happened a bit. But yeah, so they've actually got a Dark Country. Another TCG has got. I thought having like a multi-chain would be a real pain on a marketplace, but the way this is designed is really cool. I like it. I thought it was pretty simple. It's not too confusing. It's a lot of work for them to set this up and a little bit of management for people to know where their cards are, but it was pretty seamless. I was impressed. I thought it was worth talking about. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, that's great. Obviously, we want as many options as possible out there. I didn't even see the immutable button. I was looking around, like, trying to put the pieces together. They got a really janky immutable button. They need to make that really nice and sexy with the immutable logo. They could leave the flow on boring, that's fine, but they need to make that immutable button better. I would like that. Because I was looking through this, and I'm like, where is the immutable? And I passed right by it, and then I got to the bottom, I was like, okay, flow and wax blockchains. I'm confused, but you sorted that out for me. Thanks for catching me up on that. This next one, you already talked about it a little bit. You know, you're very passionate about SparkBall and that, you know, I think this is the one you talked about in your pissing me off section, right? SparkBall rebranding dev company to Opti Gaming, or do I got there?
Yeah. It's just speculation from me. Why would they rebrand their company name? Like, does that mean changing incorporation as well? So, Immutable, Daniel Paez, who's the executive producer for Gods Unchained, was SparkBall's executive producer, and there was a few comments about a year ago from Chandler, the SparkBall founder, which was kind of like a little bit. What does he mean there? Like, is that a bit narky? Because it looks like he was poached in his mind, which I don't agree with. It's like, if you don't, whoever pays the most best gets the best opportunity for the person, they're going to go where the best role is. So it's not really poaching. If he didn't get Immutable, he would have went somewhere else, obviously. So yeah, I'm wondering if they rebranded so that they can get out of any contracts with Immutable. I really do. That's a rumor, a complete speculation.
Right.
And I might be shot for saying this, but we'll see. We'll see.
Well, I hope someone doesn't shoot you. That wouldn't be good. So
they might block me. They might block me on Twitter.
Why is everybody blocking you? You might want to reevaluate that.
No, they don't anymore. I used to be a little bit you know, I got a little bit annoyed with the free speech stuff, and I was being pretty vocal about it. You know?
Okay.
So, some people might have thought that was political, and or something like that, and didn't like how harsh I was being to some people that were advocating for speech that they prefer only to be heard, sort of thing, you know?
Right. So yeah, I'm actually looking at the graphics on this now a little bit more. Yeah, it's very interesting for sure. This next one up here, Kokodi-Rubick, We talked about this, I think, in our last segment. This is where third-person fantasy shooter, and this is like where the kids are in charge, Lord of the Flies style, and the parents are gone for whatever reason. And you were right about something with the Immutable. They pulled down their post, something with the 100 grand involved, maybe. You got thoughts on that, Rubick?
More than 100 grand. It was we said that there was a post, and then live we couldn't find that post anymore. It had been taken down, so we're like, we're pretty sure that's because of the token. Sorry, the grant was announced, and the Immutable doesn't allow like that. So sure enough, in the Discord, we've had to take that post down because we did a naughty one. So it was exactly my thoughts. It was no fear. Kokodi's coming to Immutable. They just weren't meant to tell you that they got 100,000 Immutable tokens to do so.
Oh, it was 100,000 tokens. Okay, I thought.
Yeah,
all right, you had 100K. My bad. Yeah, that would be a lot more than 100,000. So. Yep.
But they don't get it straight away. Like, what people don't understand is they don't get the 100K. They have to hit flywheel targets. Right. They have to do sales on the marketplace. And as they do sales, those tokens they get are offset because there's gas, there's protocol fees that's paying for that. So over time it'll be less and less fees to get games on Immutable, and there'll be less dilution from that.
Very cool. Good call on that one for sure. Next up, MonProtocol. This is actually huge. They sold $12.5 million worth of tokens in the first hour, just 1 hour, 12.5 mil. This is the MonProtocol from Pixelmon. A huge pickup by Immutable recently. Thoughts on this, Rubick?
Yeah, honestly, I just surfaced saw that and went, wow, that's pretty. That's the power Pixel. Maybe we're underestimating this Pixelmon game. It's got a lot of momentum behind it. It's got 500,000 followers on X, and the pre-sale they just announced it 29 minutes ago. So I mean, that's not. It's the pre-sale's ending, but yeah, they've sold absolute bucket loads worth of pre-sales. So there's been a little bit of controversy around it as well, like people selling stuff and they're not supposed to and stuff. But look into it.
Regulation-wise, you're talking about maybe, or?
No, I think that's just like a sale for holders. And something like that.
Okay.
And they're not meant to sell it or something and they can revoke it or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Something like that. Maybe I misunderstood, but that was too much drama for 1 week, so I just ignored it.
Gotcha.
Just thought people would like to know that $12.5 million worth of token sales is a fairly large amount to sell in an hour.
Yeah, for sure. Hunters Unchained. This is a game. I'm actually got up on the screen right now. I didn't have it earlier. I should have. I will go back and paste that in so people can see it. If you're on audio, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But yeah, Hunters Unchained. We kind of already talked about this first game collection on ZK EVM.
You don't want to talk about the banks again?
No, thanks. I'm good. First game collection on ZK EVM. Second after ETH Lizards. What do you got up for me on that one? ETH Lizards, what is that? I don't even know what that one is.
So you might see those ETH Lizards. There's like the little lizards that face from right to left, and you won't miss them now. They're all over Twitter. It's like Kieran used to have one.
Okay. Yeah. I got it.
Yeah, so they're just like a community. What they do is they do funding for. They choose really high profile games and they get in as a group and allow like group funding for it. So you can chuck in money, and they usually raise $2.5 million per game that they like their seed fund or they Series A fund and contribute to a Series A fund sort of thing. So they cost them to get into the club. You have to be an ETH Lizard, and then you can then chuck in for rich people, mate. Not for me. Yeah,
not for me either, for sure. This next one up here, I had never heard of this guy. I was kind of looking at him briefly. Lex Robson from LegionArena is once again building on Immutable and commented on the developer hub. This one was very interesting because I remember we looked at this game not too long ago, LegionArena, TCG, but it's a little bit more than that. This is we'll talk about Shardbound later, but like these trading card games I'm getting really picky with them because there's so many out there, and they really got to set themselves apart. This one may do that for me. The board that it's on, with the way it looks, if the gameplay is good, those eye candy graphics will suck me in a little bit more the way Shardbound is. I remember us talking about it and looking at this. Your thoughts on this one, Rubick?
Yeah, Lex is an interesting character. I've been in his Discord for a long time, and you know, he had a collection on Immutable, one of the first collections ever on Immutable. It did alright, I believe, and then it just died off. You know, as he died off, but he's gone out with a cinematic. It's like a Shardbound game, like it's a hex-based TCG. So you know, they're pretty cool games. They're really good for Web3 for sure. If he nails it and does a good game, he actually sent me a message just yesterday, telling me something about a token that they're about to launch. So, you know, I'm just a bit concerned about just the vibe. You know what I mean? Like, with like how long you've been building for a small TCG game. Like, you know, he's only got a small team. He's in Hong Kong, but I get it. So I want to see gameplay, and when he gets gameplay, we'll get him. Once I see gameplay in the game, and we've got proof of game, we can get behind it as a community, Gamers Galaxie community. But the point from this was that he's built on the hub with IMX StarkX, and he's now building on with ZK-EVM with this game. And he said, just like Tal said in the interview, that the hub is just completely different now from what it was when he first started. It's like so much better. And and that was just reinforcing that point. An actual user of the hub back in StarkX days, before, like more than 18 months ago, before Tao worked here, and now using it now for ZK-EVM, just being blown away by the quality of the hub. So that was the major point.
Yeah, I have a few pictures and some limited gameplay of this. It looks pretty good, but like you said, we need to see definitely more of the gameplay before we can really get all hyped up about it. But with what limit I have, if it's real legit and it works well, yeah, this is one I might keep my eye on for sure. Some giant news coming out of Gods Unchained. Well, it's not really giant news. We've known about this for a while, but it's finally here, is what I probably should say, is mobile. I think it's actually today it's coming out, very, very soon. I have not played Gods Unchained very much at all. I tried it out a little bit, and you know, like I've said a couple times, I'm not really huge on TCGs, but once it's on mobile, and you know, specifically, you know, when I'm out and about, I'm definitely going to look into it more, because it's Immutable's flagship, and I should be playing it first of all so I can talk about it intelligently and have some form of a clue. But also, if it's on mobile and I got some time, yeah, I'm going to play it and maybe get a few cards out of it. You got to be happy that it's finally on mobile, right?
Oh yeah, that's the only reason I didn't sell all my cards, because I was waiting for mobile. Yeah, I've got like nearly 1,000 cards in the game. Wow. I play it like I used to play it every day for first 3 months, and then it went down to like 4 times a day a week, and then down to 3, and then 2, and then 1 day a week, and then just ranked on the weekends. And it's just inconvenient. It's about an hour and a half to 2 hours of commitment to do your dailies and to do all those competitions, and to maximize your value. And it's like I'm not a big TCG card player. Like, I like Shardbound because of the hex additional strategy to the game. And you know, to keep me playing a TCG long term, it just has to be variety. And it's been pretty much. I don't. You know what it is? I don't like building decks. It's just not my. I just don't. It's for someone that loves strategy. You'd think that I'd love that part of the game, but I just don't, because it feels like work. He's got so much to remember and think about, and so I just copy people's decks, and then so I'm taking away half the game with Gods Unchained. You know, like the people that really love that game love theory crafting, building decks. That's where all the fun is. The gameplay is pretty simple, you know, and it comes down a little, you know, 50% luck, 50% skill. You know what I mean? Like, it's
gotcha.
You know, so but the mobile is. I have been playing it once every 2 weeks, or 2 days in every 2 weeks. I think, or like I don't play for 2 weeks, and I'll play 2 or 3 days in a row, and then I'll stop. But mobile, I'll play back every day again, because I can just have it going. when I'm cooking, when I'm, like just doing anything else other than, in breaks or in meetings at work that I've got the camera off.
Absolutely.
So, that are boring, So, yeah, it's massive.
I think it's normal for people to have their phones at work and be playing those side games on the side. I know, at my job, there's down. Well, that's a little bit different for you, but like for the rest of us peasants, we go out to a place and we're stuck there for 12 hours at a time, and there's some downtime here and there. And fortunately, where I'm at, they're okay with us, using our phones here and there to make sure we stay awake because it's important. And you get a little downtime, you want to play a quick match here and there, and that's what I'm looking forward to, is to play it, get the general basics of it. So when we talk to people from Unchained or just talk about the game in general, I have at least a general gist of it. Besides that, it's a TCG, so I'm very looking forward to it. With it being on mobile, it makes it way more accessible for me, and I do not have an hour and a half a day to be invested in it, so I will be getting the bare base of it and trying it out at least. Yeah, good stuff for sure.
Just find a like there's a website called GU Decks, and it's you can just put in like a value of how much money you want to spend, and it will give you the best performing decks at that value. Like, and this is so you can like $10 can get you up pretty high on the leaderboard if you're a good player. But what I'm also looking forward to is I've got this website that I can't find. I'll find it again one day. But it's actual players it's an actual realistic. It's an API that you can hit that tells you the number of players playing per day and the number of games being played per day. So when you see DAP Radar say it's only get 1,800 players per day, that's how many people are buying off the marketplace per day, not actually playing the game. And so it's actually it's between 8 and 10 or 6 and 10,000 players per day. And it's about 60 to 80,000 games per day. And it goes up and down in waves. Like when new drops come out, it goes up higher to 10,000, 11,000. And years ago, it was like 200,000 players a game. So it's dropped right off at its peak. I can't wait to see what mobile does for it. It should really see it rise back up to 100,000 players.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a big staple for Immutable, and it would be nice for them to get some more volume in there and get it closer back to on top. But it's got some competition now, so that'll be interesting to see how it goes. Next up, Rubick Shorts. Tell us about what you got going on recently with your shorts.
I haven't washed them for five days, mate. Might wash them tomorrow. My favorite pair of shorts.
Yeah. Web3 shorts from Immutable Rubick, not your personal shorts.
Okay. Sorry. So there's not too much. Metafight released some new Metafight, the TCG MMA fighting management game. Haven't played it for a long time, so probably should revisit it again. But it's a good time to revisit now if you like fighting and MMA. Ember Sword's coming out with heaps of lore and content to follow. Dark Machine's come out with some great video clips of their new game. The mechs increasing in size and how the lore behind that. Because I was like, what does a mech increase in size? So your mech gets inside another mech that makes it bigger. That's how it works. So I love that. My mind was like, what? How come would you just like take a pill and you grow bigger? But no, you actually get your mech inside another mech. So it's how mechs do that. It was very obvious that was going to be. Tolan's World's got a development update coming. That's huge changes to the game, more content. And that's about it. There's been so many games released coming out. Runiverse as well, so also going to be at GDC. So it's signs of life with Runiverse. And also one final one was Ultra is now partnered with Immutable. Without it being announced, Immutable has Ultra as a partner listed on their website. So interesting. Also, Wits just got put up as partnered with Immutable, which I'm not sure if that's delayed reaction or if they just didn't they've added that up too late and not realized that they're not building there anymore. I'm not in their Discord, so did you get any information on that?
Yeah, I don't think they're with Immutable anymore. I think they went to Scale. I'm pretty confident they went this scale. I'd be kind of shocked, but probably just there's so many games going on that Immutable probably lost track on that one. That's my guess on that part of it.
Well, that's it. That's my shorts.
Awesome, cool, lots of stuff in there for sure. We're about ready to jump into our next segment here. All the playtests. There's a lot of playtests going on right now. I didn't even know this one. Or no, you've got open beta soon for Evermore. Or I'm sorry,
Evermoon.
Evermoon. Apologies, Evermoon. Yeah. Yes, Evermoon. I seen this one. This is the MOBA, right? Yeah, 5v5 3-lane MOBA.
5-lane. Oh, 3-lane. Sorry, 3-lane. I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. Yeah,
5v5 3-lane MOBA.
That was unusual. Most of the mobiles are only 3 versus 3 in 2 lanes or 1 lane. So yeah, interesting. Interesting to see that go to 5v5 on a mobile. But I think you can play it now. It's pretty easy to get into the game now. But open beta with passports coming very, very soon as well. Yeah. Metalcore has just started with their 2 weeks of Unchained until the 6th of March. There's dailies in that as well to pick up. D'Souza's playing that.
I got to get in that. I got to invite. Yeah. I just got to jump in. I might do that today, actually. The graphics and gameplay look absolutely sick on both Evermoon and Metalcore for sure. Next one.
How you finding Shardbound, the next one?
Yeah. I was just... This was the one when I seen this on the list, I was like, ooh, yeah, I've been playing this one a lot. Shardbound has been absolutely amazing. I'm surprised at how much I'm into it. I was just playing it just to get some general knowledge of it, and now I'm kind of hooked. I'm trying to learn the cards. I've been PvPing a bunch, getting slowly better. You definitely need to upgrade your cards, because if you don't upgrade your cards, you're going to get smacked down. I learned that the hard way. And yeah, I'm enjoying it for what it is, and looking forward to really paying attention to this game a whole lot more. In fact, I think I'm moving this one up on my list. I think I had it number 3 or 4, and I'm actually thinking about putting it number 2 now. I haven't decided yet, but I'm really feeling the FOMO and hype on this one now. Thoughts on Shardbound, Rubick?
Yeah, I was surprised. The leveling up of cards was not in the previous test. So I played I don't think you played the last one, or if you did,
yeah, I did.
You did. Okay, sweet. So you know the massive improvement this test compared to last one. Like, completely different game. It doesn't take 20 minutes a game now. It takes 3-4 minutes, maybe 5 minutes on a long game, maybe a bit more, 6 sometimes, I guess. But some that can last for a minute and a half, or they can last for 6 minutes, kind of thing. Maybe an average of 4 or 5 minutes, which is way better for me. I just enjoy it more, and it hasn't taken away from the strategy from beating it up. So in terms of, there's a heap of polish needed on the UX, and there was one I've been writing notes for them to give to them in my feedback. I don't know about you, is the top of the screen not viewable on your screen?
No, it's good for me. I haven't seen any issues with that. Have you noticed the achievements section in there?
Yeah, so my screen's cut off at the top. I can only see the feet of the characters and the very top hexes on the top of the screen. So that's not happening for you?
No, not at all.
It happened to me as well in Chrono Forge. I think it's they're not designed for widescreens, something, and it won't play on my. I've got 2 screens, a normal side with screen and a widescreen. So I try to play it on it won't fit in. Even with the cable not plugged in, it still wants to go to the widescreen setting, so I can't. Yeah, so it's quite frustrating that. But yeah, that's one thing I don't like is the movement on the map. I'd like to be able to move the map around to see and get better view, and like to be able to get the mouse on, be 100% certain you're going to the right hex.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big complaint of mine. Other than that, but yeah, the achievements is what you just asked me is awesome. It's the gamification side of it that's getting you to relog back in every day.
Right. I like the terrain things that are in the way that cause you have to kind of strategize how you're going to move, and you can use it for defense. And there's a lot more to this game than I was expecting, and I'm having a really good time with it for sure. We talked about this one earlier. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I think like they could, easily make like a different game modes with this as well. Like this is one mode where it's small map and this is the rule set. They could very easily make like a huge map and or a campaign where you got to try and conquer, you know, take over all the islands versus another, you know, maybe 5 people versus each other sort of thing. Like they could do so much with this game in the future. So yeah, where a TCG, you're stuck on, you know, a few different game modes on the card, but still going to feel the same. Where they could really expand on this game and make it like a game for decades. And Bazooka Tango or Tango Bazooka, I don't know which way you say it. These guys are gods of gaming, mate. They really know how to build games. So very excited about Shardbound and what it's, you know, no token, no launch. I made a joke about, as well, one last point about it on Twitter about if you don't you're going to be in pain if you don't start playing Shardbound early because of the card leveling up. So
yeah,
I remember I came in a couple of days late and just people were slaughtering me because I just didn't have the same comparison of cards.
Yep, I ran into that.
Sorry, go.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say that will balance out. You'll verse people more your level, and as you get more powerful, you'll go up the ranks. So yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that for sure with the card loading. It's a major thing for sure. We talked about this game earlier. I guess it's in playtest now. Chibby Clash. I just like saying that. Chibby Clash. Chibby Clash. Chibby Clash. Chibby. I can say it 3 times, dude. I can say it 3 times. Yeah, it's in playtest now. I don't know if I'm gonna go check this one out. It's not really. I got so many things I gotta check out. It'd be probably on my low priority list, but it's definitely out to test. Recording what you have here. Any thoughts on that? Have you had a chance to check it out at all?
Yeah, I think did we speak about that already? I'm not sure, but anyway, it's pretty cool. I didn't mind. It wasn't pixelated too much. There's a little bit of a unique art graphic, so I think we talked about that earlier. So
yeah, it's like Looperlands. It's like Looperman's, but a lot more polished and probably more to do too. Yeah, okay. I thought maybe there was maybe more for to say. And then the other playtest is Project Lambo SheerTopia. Yeah, I would. If you want to check it out. But man, I'm not feeling that one. Anything else you want to say on that before we move on, or?
Nah, we already talked about it, these two. Just letting people know that they can play them now if they want.
Yep, absolutely. What else we got up here? This is yeah, we're at we're flying through this here now. Non-immutable news. Team Intella. So like, I gotta when I was going through this list, I thought I missed the non-immutable news part. So like, I was like looking all over. I was like, how are these guys tied to Immutable? Well, they're not. So that was on me. I was just like, oh, wait a minute, they're not. So
you know how they're tied to Immutable?
No, I don't. It says non-immutable news. well,
I'm trying to, make it some kind of tie for you so you can make it feel like it is part of Immutable, but it's not part of Immutable. This is correct, non-immutable news. But Team Intella is connected to Immutable through Polygon. They both use the Polygon ZK EVM chain to do games. So,
okay.
Yeah. Why I brought this up is like they're built. This is which is a pretty big Korean blockchain developer. They're huge.
Mm-hmm.
So they own this chain and they've been around a while, and they're kind of copying Immutable. So, but still, they made all these announcements like they said we're bringing out something revolutionary that's going to change the way gaming is done in Web3 forever. We're going to be, like, as if they've revolutionized the industry, and everything they've done is just pretty much what Immutable's done, but not quite as good. So, their wallet's got social logins, but it's not tied together in an ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
I just find it hard. This is one thing I find it weird, that why would they build on Polygon CDK and then kind of compete against Polygon and Immutable that have partnered with the owners of that chain? Like, you'd think if you're going to build on a Polygon, you're going to build on Immutable. Like, why would you go build on Intella? Like, it'd be just, now these tools are out, there's a little bit more reason to, but still, there's no games building on it really, not that many compared to the network effects you're going to lose by doing that. Be crazy. Just thought it was interesting. They they built some pretty cool tools around accessibility, around APIs as well. So yeah,
I've never heard of them until this. They're coming from Web 2, obviously, and it sounds like you're accusing them of pure announcements. Was I hearing that correctly?
Yeah. Well, announcements of being revolutionary, and then they announced pretty much what Immutable's done already. So theirs isn't built yet. So, and then claiming it's like they invented it. So just like that happens in Web3 all the time. How many times you hear a chain say, "We are the first"? Scale says we're the only gas-free chain. They announced that still. Like, well, no, you're not. You know, so it's like there's just constant gaslighting going on in this industry. If you haven't noticed.
Yeah. Boy, I must have missed this point here. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
There was one point about it, and it's about the way they fund content creators. So there's a system of earning tokens from contributing to the ecosystem. That's something that's new. So, you know, it's just their different design on tokenomics. But so rewarding gamers for playing, like the overall ecosystem success, kind of like Immutables, but just a different way. So that was pretty cool. So, and that's enough from that.
Yeah, I missed this part here. I'm just noticing it now. You've got something about Elixir Games. You're gonna have to carry me on this one. I don't know what we were supposed to talk about this one. So why are we talking about Elixir Games on this one?
Well, Immutable's one of the first games integrated into so you know what Elixir is? It's a game launcher.
Yeah.
And they got a lot of funding. I saw they got $2 million a couple of years ago, and they're partnered with GameStop, and they're partnered with all these big what's it called? Sky Enix. Gone blank. The Japanese developers. Something.
Oh, Enix. Sky Enix. Yeah.
Square Enix. Square Enix.
Yeah.
God, it's getting late, everybody.
Yeah.
We're nearly about to wrap up. But yeah, so they're launching a token, and it was pretty cool. Like Launchpad, all these new tools that are going to make like pretty much eat the centralized. You can play and earn from playing games on their chain, and there's use cases for the Elixir token that they're launching. It's on Solana, one of your buddies. So they're going to build it. I think that's a mistake, you know, when considering most of the chains that they've integrated into their player are EVM and potentially going to be all interchangeable in the future. And they're going to build their token on Solana. So, but there could be layer 0 kind of thing going there. Like we're starting to see this ability to cross over, from different chains with layer 0 labs. So interesting that it shows Solana, but yeah, you'd think they'd see that most of the games have been played and not on Solana.
Yeah, they've been on Solana for a long time. That's where I knew about them was from Solana from a couple of years ago. So yeah,
I think Solana, Polygon, and Ethereum were the first, and then Immutable X was fourth, I think.
Very cool.
Yeah, but that's pretty big news. It's worthwhile watching that presentation. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, you'll have to. Is that the link you provided there, or is that a different one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely look at that more. I've somehow, with the way this was set up, it rolled into the previous one, so that's why I missed it. Apologies, everybody. But thanks for carrying me there, Rubick. I appreciate you as always. This next one up, I want to hear your thoughts on this first. I wonder if you and I are on the same line with this, but Jihoz gets hacked, and what do you have to say on this? I want to hear what your thoughts are.
Ronin and getting hacked, name a more iconic duo.
Is that where you're going? That's it?
That's it, mate.
Okay. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm going conspiracy here, but this looks like a PR stunt to me, man. This just looks like a PR stunt. I looked at this and I was like, what? How the heck does he get hacked? And then I was like, nah, no. Like, come on. You're not new in the space. You're not even mediocre time-wise in the space. You've been in this space with all kinds of things. You're in charge of all this stuff, and you get hacked. Nah, I don't know, man. Maybe he did, but I think it looks like I'm just like you. you know. That's what it came off to me, and I was like, no, you're not. No, you're not. I don't know. I could be wrong. That was my thoughts on it. I don't want to spend too much time on that one, but yeah.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say it's a good thing to happen to anyone. So no matter who you are,
right?
Sad if it did happen, that's it.
Yeah, if it did happen, I feel for anybody. I don't want to see anybody get rugged, but I just can't believe it. I don't know, maybe. Yeah. So next one up here, AI tools for blockchain games with NeroChain.ai. I'm noticing a big trend. I mean, it's not. I don't even know if it's a trend. It's been out for a while now. Like everyone's talking about crypto and AI, how it's going to be the next big thing. I don't have a good feeler on it yet, but I have heard it quite a bit. I think this is kind of another piece to the puzzle, maybe. I don't know a whole lot about NeroChain AI. Do you know anything about them?
Why I brought these up is something to talk about is because of one point, which sounds awesome. Will make us irrelevant, I'd say. But the actual news reporting, this blockchain tech, so they do things like anti-cheat. So like checking patterns and detecting what cheats are like. So you need to have that'll force 95% of the cheats out of the business, because you'll need to be a little bit more sophisticated to get around you need to employ AI of your own to make your bots and cheats very random, and so it won't be easy to get around them. So that's pretty big news. And NPCs, like characters in Discords and in games and in Telegram, so you can create like a non-player character in any game with this technology. But the big one that I really liked was also technical support as well. So in your Discord, you can get technical support from a bot for commonly asked questions. If you think of Immutable's moderators, they sound worse than bots, so it couldn't be any worse than that. Mm-hmm. The most lifeless, boring. They literally sound like bots responding, and then actual real humans apparently. But the big one, I'll get to it, like I've said 3 times now, is in-game news reporting. So, like you can set like rules-based what you want. What's a big event? Someone hits a high score, like that, and you can get a news article written about the actual in-game activities. What's happening in game. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I love that. So you could, your favorite game like Shardbound, you can say Viper, he's just went on a 25 game winning streak. There's a new guy in the top 10 or girl in the top 10. Like just things like that, or MMO, or in someone's just caught a ramp fire in Overworld, Illuvium Overworld. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be really hard to catch them and very rare. So you'll be able to get live feed news on the games you want from this tool. So I think it's pretty promising. This is one of an AI that I thought, well, that would be actually quite interesting if it comes off.
You just sold me on them. I didn't follow them at first because I got so many follows now. It's like I can't keep up, but I did follow them just now live while we're doing this because I want to look more into this project. Yeah, it's definitely interesting for sure. I liked one of your comments earlier about like it could replace us. I just had this conversation like yesterday or the day before. My buddy Capone, Bruno, if you don't know him, guy I talk to quite a bit, real nice guy, a beauty as he would say. But we were talking about this AI, and I said, do you see AI replacing content creators? And we were going back and forth, and we kind of agreed that it definitely would replace some, maybe a good chunk, but him and I kind of agreed we didn't see them being able to replace all of them, and there would be a niche sector of ones that were good enough to have that human factor that would not be replaceable for at least probably our lifetimes. Maybe after our lifetimes they come out with something that can replace everybody, which is the fear of a lot of people. I see that quite a bit, not just in this sector but other sectors as well. So I'm glad you brought this up. I was just talking about this the other day, so I followed it, and I'm going to definitely look more into it for sure. Especially with the anti-cheat stuff. I like that. I like that a lot. I think it's huge. But it seems like every time they get anti-cheat, there's always a counter. It's always a back and forth counter.
Well, it's always going to be that. You can't avoid it. Yeah.
Yeah. So all right. I think we got through most of it. It's time for time to hit that final thought of the week. You want to start off with this, Rubick?
Yeah, I'm pumped for a game we didn't mention about a playtest because it's a closed beta, closed alpha test for Blade of God X, which is my number 2 game that I'm like, most anticipating on all of Immutable, behind GOG. And the only reason GOG beats it is because I just don't have, like, I have time for GOG to invest because of the casual capability it has. And it's also something I've invested in a lot of time and energy over the years. So I'm just so excited about GOG finally coming out. But I think at a gameplay review and graphics and the actual gameplay, BOG X, very bad acronym, BOG X. But anyway, later God X. It's yeah. So it's you know, if I had time to invest 3 to 4 hours a day every day in a game, where I'm fully attentive to the game, then would be it. So it'll be my game, I'd say. This Blade of God, if it doesn't take that much time. But the graphics are amazing. ARPG. It's the reason I'm excited about is our community game as Galaxie has just been offered a collab with them. So what that means is at least the community gets to play, join our Discord, and sign up to get a key to play the game if you want to. Yeah, that's my final thought for the week.
Fantastic. Yeah, I know how big you are on this game, and I just want to add to that. Their community is absolutely huge and very, very, very active. It's hard to find a community with that much involvement anymore. And I mean, they're out there, but like right off the bat, boom, a lot of hype around this game for sure. The graphics look sick. I know you're big on it, and good job and congrats on getting that collab with us. That's probably one of our first major, besides Immutable, the work we do with them. That's probably our biggest one outside of that, in my opinion, that we've had so far. So congratulations on that. I'm looking forward to testing this out. Hopefully I'll get a whitelist from you. I don't know what hoops you're going to make me jump through, if you're going to force me to go find a bank here that helps me, or what you're going to do. I don't know. I just thought I'd throw in there for fun. But yeah, very, very cool. Final thoughts from me this week. This one was kind of hard for me to come up, and then it just kind of hit me all at once. And I thought about, I think 5 years from now. I thought 10 at first, but like, no, it'll probably be 5. Who knows? Maybe even 3. 5 years from now, I don't think we're going to recognize the space, and I think we're going to look back at this time period in the last couple years that we've all been together, going through all these ridiculous hoops, going through all these growing pains. We're going to laugh at this and say, what were we thinking? What were we doing? But in the same token, I think we have to go through this. It's necessary to evolve. It's necessary to grow. It's the pain process that you have to go through to get to Valhalla, so to speak. And at the same time, it's exciting. We have to go through it. It can be harmful, and you got to be really careful. And I'm talking. What I'm talking about is from a body, mind, and soul aspect of it. I mean, you can get so wrapped up in this stuff that you forget about human life and that you're an actual human. And like, even though this is games, there's a whole different element to this of, you know, chasing this industry to stay ahead and stay on top of things. And you can forget that there's other things. So people say sometimes, go touch grass. I mean, it's huge. Get outside, get that sunshine. Try to get some exercise, even just walking, man. You're gonna feel better so that you're recharged for the space. Don't forget to recharge, and then, you know, ultimately your soul, however that it is for you. For me, it's reading my Bible and praying, and, you know, spending time with my family and all that good stuff. So don't forget that. And that is my final thoughts of the week. Rubick, any parting words before we head out?
No, that was a good one. Long one as usual. Sorry, we're trying to bring these down to shorter, but there's just so much to talk about, and I hope you've been able to listen and get it all, soak all that in, and take some good tidbits away for your day. Thanks for listening, everyone. Again, appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks again, Rubick. I should have meant this at the beginning. You will be seeing a lot more shorts from coming us, breaking up these huge segments so that it's a little bit more palatable for everybody to digest, because we know this is long. But like Rubick said, there is a ton of news each week. Trust us, we know, and we're trying our best to make this as chewable as possible for all you all. Please give us likes, follows, subscribes, and comments. We desperately need them. Your finger clicks are so valuable to us. And we will be back tomorrow night with a Spaces, but by the time you get this, it'll be too late. So I don't even know why I mentioned that. We got all kinds of content coming out. Join our Discord. It is open for you to come in and participate and see all the news and analysis that we all provide. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Everybody take care. Bye-bye now.
Bye.